Alright, we have a short block. A complete short block. There's my timing set. Here's the pistons. So I did all the clearancing on the block. Ended up having to get X bearings for the mains, 1/1000 thinner. And then they worked out for, the machinist said, 1030 oil. I think I said that in the last video. The rods worked out. So I put it all together. I gapped my rings at 30 thousandths. About 34 thousandths on the second ring. And the top oil ring at 34, 36-ish. It don't matter. As long as you can get that, whatever gets in between the top and second ring, down through them and into the combustion, or into the crankcase. So I've got a head sitting on here. I had it torqued down yesterday. Yesterday I went through doing piston to valve clearance and setting up, figuring out the length of my push rod. So piston to valve clearance, I use the Play-Doh method. So you take a glob of Play-Doh and you'll pack it down. This is the centerpiece, that's what I measured. So you'll take a piece and smash it into this and then into here, and then you'll, once you have your head torqued on the way it's going to be with your head gasket, you run a few cycles, and then of course you have to have your valve train on for that cylinder that you're doing it for, and set. You have to have them set. You can't just throw them on there. You got to set them to where they're going to be. So I kind of just put my Play-Doh in and then started doing push rod checking, and used that to set my valve piston cleaner. Not set it, but check it. So once you've got your valve train set for that cylinder and you run a few, you've got your push rod figured out, your length, by using one of these. This is a push rod length checker. You set it in there and you raise it up until your valve train is making passes right in the center of the valve tip. Once you have that, then you lock it down using the nuts there, and then you measure it. You got to do it for both, because like in my instance and a lot of people's instance, intake will be different from exhaust, especially on race motors. Stock motors, it's going to be the same. Race motors might be different. So especially if you have different springs, you had to get a certain spring height for the cam that you're running so that you don't bind. Like I did, my intake valves are 1/100th longer than the exhaust. They weren't supposed to be. I bought them all. I replaced all the valves in this head, and they were supposed to give me 1/100th longer on the exhaust, but they didn't. And they're all Manley severe duty valves. So I just kind of knocked out two birds with one stone by putting the Play-Doh on there, torquing the head down with my gasket, and doing my push rod checking. So once I had it, I set it at 18 thousandths cold. Now they want, oh wait, that's the wrong sheet. Where is my, there it is, my cam sheet, spec sheet. So they want the Isky cam. Isky has been doing some great stuff lately, so I went with them. So they want 24 thousandths hot. That's pretty big to me. That's kind of big. So on the S10 motor, I run them 18 thousandths hot. And when I'm running them cold. 12 thousandths comes out to be right around 18 thousandths. So cold, you're going to have a lower number because when it heats up, of course, it expands. So they want 24 thousandths. I'm going to do that on break-in. I'll run that on break-in, but I'll probably tighten it up once it's broke in. So about 18 thousandths might give me that, or it might be a little looser, which that's okay for break-in. I'll run back through them when it's hot, but for now I'm going to set them at 18 thousandths cold. These are different. This is a Jesel setup. So it had, when I bought these heads, it came with the rocker arms, but they were off. They were exhaust was 1.6 and intake. No. Exhaust was 1.5 and intake was 1.6, and I needed them both to be 1.6, so I had to buy all new exhaust rockers. So for this shaft rocker setup, these are Jesel. So this is a little over $1,500 for this set. I got the heads and that for $1,500. I couldn't pass that deal up. So, and I bought these a few years ago now. Finally putting them to use. So that's why this, the adjuster cups are different sizes. So I got to use two different things for them, and I have the valve adjusting tool that comes together. It slides through the wrench with the Allen for the S10, but it doesn't fit these. So I'm just going to use a 7/16 socket, 12 point, and whatever Allen the hell I got to use. I bought shims for these thinking that I was going to need to, because I set them on the heads before, and I mean, look at that angle. It looks like you would need shims to bring the stand up to bring this part up higher. But when I run it, I mean, they are right on, right freaking on. I don't know if it would still show. I just did it in oil. Normally I'll put a Sharpie, color this in with a Sharpie, and then run it, and it'll clean the Sharpie off where it passes. That's how you check where where it's going through at. I mean, that it works perfect. So this head's just sitting on here. I took it back apart so I can clean it and actually install the heads. It's ready. I went with some bigger push rods this time. I got 3/8. When I was kind of screwing around with those heads, the heads were pretty well hogged out when I got them. But I just kind of feathered over them and gave them the finish that I wanted on them. I did grind out where the push rods go, so hopefully I could fit 3/8 push rods in there. And that's these bad boys. They're still 80 wall, which I don't care for, but because it's 3/8, that's going to help. That's all I could get today. I can change them out later, and they weren't very expensive. So they barely fit. I mean, barely. Like, they almost touch. But that's fine. I guess I grinded it out just enough. Like, I grinded every single one and smoothed it over both heads. So it ended up being 7550 was a height or a length that I could use. You can get a specific height. You actually get a specific height when you use that checker and you set your valves and you get the height right. When you get them right in the middle and that's the height, and you've got them set to the clearance that you need. You pull that out and you measure it. It came to, what was it? I wrote it down. 7 intake was 7,540 and exhaust was 7,573. The reason, well, the exhaust valve is shorter. Let's see, and I got head dowel pins. This thing didn't have any in it, so I grabbed some. They got AC Delcos for $1.99, and right now at Summit, if you buy them, you get $20 in Summit bucks back just for buying a $1.99 item. That's pretty cool. They have a lot of that going on right now. So I bought 4 of them. I don't know if that's going to give me 80 bucks or what. We'll find out. So these shaft rockers are pretty cool. There's no, like with the other rockers, you don't, in the 80 wall 5/16 push rods, if you have a race motor, you're not getting all your cam with that. You're just not. The S10, same way. I'm not getting all my cam with that. And that's got a pretty big cam in it, and I'm not getting all of it. I could be getting more power if I had shaft rockers and beefier push rods. So I'm missing out on some power on that motor. That could push me down. Like, let's see, the fastest I've ever been in the S10 is 530s. I mean, I could get a little more power out of it. Go a little faster. But that thing's going to be turbo soon, so it's not going to matter. In fact, there's the AFR heads going on the turbo motor. Those are the AFR 245s. And I do have shaft rockers for them. I got them from a guy who bought them for his heads, installed one set, and took them back off. They didn't fit. I already took them out and checked them on mine, and they do fit, so I am good. But that is future. There's the block for it right there. I've got everything for it except for the cam and the carburetor. That's the only thing and the machine work. So, alright, this is where we're at right now. I'm about to install the heads, and then I get to figure out how to degree a cam. Never done that before. Oh, because of this adjustable gear, I had to get a new timing cover. I couldn't use that Cloys that I normally use. So, normally use these Cloys. I love these. It's so easy to set the cam spacing or the cam walk. But that window that opens up is not big enough. So I had to get a 2-piece, which ended up being this guy. It's a big old beefy sucker, but so the bottom part of it stays attached with the front main seal. It stays attached, and the rest of it comes off. It came with the cam button that's in there, the bolts, the freaking thing that holds the bolts. Came with all the hardware. I mean, it's a nice kit, but it's kind of expensive. It was like $250, I think, somewhere around there. But anyways, it's a nice piece. And that little plug right there, that is the window that you use to check your cam walk. You set a dial gauge in there, and I don't know how you're gonna move your cam back and forth. I guess you have to stick something down a hole and move it, and then you set it by shims, which sucks. That's what I like about the Cloys cover. It's adjustable with a screw. It actually adjusts the bearing itself, the cam button. Much easier. But oh well, it is what it is. Once it's set, we're good. So alright, I'm gonna end this. And so with the shaft rockers, you actually have to use head bolts like this, which come with them. These go under the shafts. So right here is where a head bolt or a head stud would go. But because you have this shaft here, you can't. So these have to go in there. You got to be careful torquing them and have good Torx bits. Guess that's it for now. Oh yeah, so apparently the machine shop lost a pair of my Lunati lifters. When I got them back, I was short one, and they all the oil was gone out of it, and they told me that they spilled it over. So I'm thinking that a pair of them went flying somewhere underneath the toolbox. I don't know, but what I could get were these Crowler. They're the same size. They're just full-bodied, not cutaways. It's the only real difference, and they're not Lunatis, but they should work just fine. They're brand new, so they fit just fine. And you know how everybody always says that you can't put your lifters in when your heads are on? I can, because I use solid lifters. These little short-bodied solid lifters, they will fit. But hydraulics won't. Full-bodied, most full-bodied solids won't. The bigger ones, but mine do. So I like that. There's been a time or two where I put the heads on and was like, oh no, forgot to put the lifters in, but they fit. Alright, so time to get cleaning and put the heads together. I'll do another video, I guess, when I'm setting up something. I don't know. There's so many videos out there showing how to do all this. Why make another one? There's so many out there. But I'm just kind of giving updates and showing what I'm doing, I guess. I am going to crank this thing before I put it in the car. I got an engine cradle. I'm going to put it on that. And I bought a HEI distributor. So I can't put my distributor and my ignition boxes and coils and all that crap out here. So I just got a HEI distributor just to crank it on the engine stand, because it just needs a power wire. My MSD distributor needs a whole lot more. So, alright, I'm going to start building this sucker.